Hey guys, what's up? It's Anthony Covey here. Hold on. Let me go back a little bit. There we go. So let me just scratch down like that. So, the last album review I did, we basically talked about the new Of Mice and Men album, and I wanted to give you an update on that actually, because today it was announced that Of Mice and Men is going to be in a Warped Tour, and I'm just like, what? So I was just like, damn, I'm excited. Don't know if I'm going to Warped Tour yet, but like, I'm pretty sure when I go, I'm going to shit my pants. But I don't know yet. But I'm just saying, like, if they play some of their new shit, like, I'm so down for that. So it was really hard to pick what album I'm going to review next, because there's so many albums falling on that category. And then it hit me. I was just like, why not pick something more along the lines of maybe not metal, maybe something more regular, like something you would hear at a regular rock station. Something that gives an uproar, something that a band that will probably could be on the Uproar Festival. You ever heard of an Uproar Festival? That's the Rockstar Energy Uproar Festival. That's an annual festival that usually happens the same time as all the other summer tours. And you usually get bands there like Seether or Alice in Chains, Jane's Addiction, Coheed and Cambria, most of those bands, Volbeat for one of them. And I figure, why not view an album of a band that I've been listening to for a long time, actually. This band is actually, I don't even have the album, but I can just review it because I listened to this album like so many times. And it just went from being that obscure album that you would just pick up and you would just take to being this album that's so powerful and so electrifying, so magnific, so death in the sense where it's good. And that album, of course, is Alter Bridge with their newest edition of their discography with the title known as Fortress. And this album itself is pretty obscure to most people because not many people know of Alter Bridge's work. Now, I remember when they did, songs like One Day Remains, The End Is Here, or I think that was The End Is Near. They also had Blackbird, the album that was like their last hit before this time. So, and give you a little bit of history in the background. By the way, I got the guitarist's autograph, former guitarist of Creed, and I can't remember his name. Oh my god, like right now it's just cringing me. This is a necessity. But like I can't remember his name. But Mark Tremonti, there you go. Mark Tremonti, he was from Creed, and he played with Creed, and they even did a tour for a tribute show back, like, I think it was a couple years back, right before they started working on this latest album. And Mark Tremonti was like, he was the lead guitarist for Creed, but then switching gears, he also had a project with Alter Bridge, and lead singer in Alter Bridge, also known as Miles Kennedy. Miles Kennedy is a beast in vocals. Miles Kennedy is the epitome of the new era of having a similar voice as to those like bands before, like Def Leppard, bands like Van Halen, bands like Warrant, bands like Poison, those kind of voices. Even today's voices, from like, for instance, you can compare Miles Kennedy's voice range to be at the same voice range as Iced Earth's new acquired Stu Block, or you can compare it to Nikki Sixx for 6 a.m., or you can compare it to any other high caliber, high-pitched vocalist out there who's probably making a name for himself. And even Miles Kennedy has made a name for himself with a solo record. I think it was 2 years ago that he partnered up with Slash, and he created his own partnership with Slash, and they made a few songs, and they even released an album. But getting to the point here, that's a little bit of history in the back. Alter Bridge was a band from a while back, more on the lungs. I discovered them back in like 2007 when I started getting into wrestling, and that's another story because, well, I guess I could explain it. One wrestler by the name of Edge, also known as Adam Copeland in real life, that's his real name. He used his theme song, Metalingus, and it was from Alter Bridge's, their album at the time, which was The End Is Here. And I was like, I'm in love with this song because it's so powerful. You know, like Alter Bridge is known for giving these powerful songs like One Day Remains, Open Your Eyes. I used to be a big favorite. They used to be like my favorite band. Man. Like they used to be like they're still electrifying to this day. So getting to the point now, that's just a little history lesson of who Alter Bridge is. I'm forgetting the drummer and any other member that I'm missing out. I'm sorry, but you guys are talented. I'm sorry if I didn't include you this. It's just that Mark Tremonti and Miles Kennedy really stand out. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry. It's just that Miles Kennedy and Mark Tremonti really stand out in the sense that, you know, when you think of Alter Bridge, you think of the history of these guys, and you think these two in particular because they've had a lot of history in music, especially in the business of rock and roll. So now we have Alter Bridge's newest album, which is Fortress. Now Fortress by means is not really a bad album. In fact, it is pretty much one of the roughest, toughest, meanest, and yet so lightened albums that I've listened to for a while. And let me give you an example. There's this one song, All Ends Well. I think it's like one of their last tracks. I think I pronounced it right. I can't remember the song title because once you just listen to the entire album on the internet, you just really lose track of. You can't just be like, oh, this song. Okay, I remember it. This song, memorize the song, and you can't do the things at the same time. You can't contrast from doing one thing to the other. So you know, I'm really getting used to the titles of the songs, but. You know, All Ends Well, I think that's what the song's title is called, depicts on a really positive note. And you don't see that a lot nowadays with rock bands these days. Usually a rock band would go against the system, you know, like, let me think of one, like Trivium, or you think of another band, Alice in Chains, you know, a sense of a rock band like Gore, or another rock band, Protest the Hero. How about I throw some, or even you can go beyond that. You can go like Christianity. You can go like Behemoth or Gorgoroth or Mayhem or Obituary. I just dropped my USB drive. Whatever. I'll pick it up later. But bands like those. But this song like was pretty much All Ends Well. It was like one of the most positive notes with the most powerful verses and guitar riffs that I've heard in a song in a long time. And even one of the lyrics that goes, if you believe in, like, it tells you to believe in yourself. And it's just like, wow, this song kicks ass and it sends a positive message to people who listen to it. This band in general is a positive message to people who listen. They've been making positive songs for a long time. They can sound powerful. Like One Day Remains, to choose, make every day your last, you know? Make every day your last. But in general, you know, some of the other songs are really good. Like, for instance, you got Lover, Farther Than the Sun. That was good. My favorite one is Cry of Achilles. I can't stop listening to that song, especially the guitar riff at the beginning. Acoustic guitar, it's just played melodiously. And I'm just like, I keep thinking, it just gives me like a moment to just think in that process when that guitar riff goes, and it's just like, I'm standing here and I'm just like, wow, this verse is just so different than from what I hear usually. And that's what makes Alter Bridge so special, because Alter Bridge is actually a different type of band in this generation. You know, because they're more old school like, and they have that whole alternative sound, and I guess if you can call it alternative, whatever you can call it. But they stand out a lot more. You know, usually you would say something about that like a band like Seether or Breaking Benjamin. But, you know, those bands, you know, they just fall back into obscurity because usually bands like that just have one-hit wonders and they try to get back out there. This band in particular is heading into new heights, even though they've had a couple of albums out lately. I think this is like their fourth or third, I can't really recall. But, I mean, a band like Alter Bridge has everything you could possibly want in a rock band. It has powerhouse, it has slightly cute notes, it has riffs that'll make you feel like you're melodious, or you're feeling aromas, whatever you feel, you know, it just has that good tone to it. And that's what I respect about this album and itself. And the title of the album itself, Fortress, actually is a good title. Leave it to be that it is one of these signs that shows you that it really truly is a fortress. And that was a pun. And you know, don't like to use puns, but I'm gonna use it. But in any case, you know, this album as a whole is really good. I like it. It's pretty much one of the best albums I've heard all year, even though it was released last year in 2013. I would recommend it very much. If you love hard rock, if you love it so much, I would recommend this album very much. However, if you're not a fan of light shit, and if you're not a fan of like giving things a chance, and if you're that closed-minded kind of guy, then you know you don't want to be. You know what I mean? Then again, I'm not gonna judge you. You can choose your styles, man. I don't give a fuck. You can listen to fucking Gore Guts or Marduk for all I care. You could just like ignore the world and be in your dark corner and listen to Scandinavian folk music or British metal or whatever the fuck. Hey, it's your day. You like that shit? That shit's cool. I mean, I like Tyr. I like Necroglobicon. I like all that crap. It's not crap though. I'm just saying. I'm just using that as like a metaphor, metaphorically speaking. But you know, I'm just saying if you don't like music like this, but I'm just saying give it a chance. Alter Bridge is one of those bands that is looking pretty high, even though they're pretty old. You know, a pretty old band that's looking pretty high. And give it a look, and hey, check out Miles Kennedy and Mark Travanti's like whole history. They're really good musicians, vocalists, and lead guitars. Check out Creed also, and Creed is like that Christian rock band. I'll get more into that. And I know, yeah. So there you go, Alter Bridge's Fortress. Give that like a good review because it's a good album. You gotta check it out. So you know, that's it, you guys. Thank you for watching this review, and more high hopes to wherever it is I go with these reviews. Album reviews. Sorry. And I know I'm a little overboard on the time, but you know, thanks for watching though. Appreciate it. Keep supporting your rock bands. Buy their CDs. Awesome. See you guys later.